So people have been asking me, Jordan, which is the ghostwriter company that you use for your Kindle business? And that is exactly what I'm going to talk about in this video. But of course, that wouldn't be enough. I'm actually going to share with you my secret strategy, the one I use so I can have great selling books inside of Amazon. And that is also not enough. Yes, I'm going to share with you my coupon so you can get a 5% discount by using this ghostwriter company. And let's get started with this video. Hi there, this is Jordan Alexo, and today I'm going to share with you a lot of tips related to Kindle publishing, especially how you can get fantastic books done for a pretty decent pricing. And also, if you haven't liked this video, you should do it. Go right below, click on the thumbs up. It always helps my videos. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can receive my splendid and professional looking videos related to Kindle publishing, online marketing, and a lot of great stuff that I share with you along my YouTube channel. Anyway, let's get started with this video. So the company that I use is ewritersolutions.com. I'm going to leave a link in the description from this video so you can go to their page and get your book order. And also, I'm going to leave a coupon on the description so you can use it, so you can get a discount. And who doesn't want to get a discount? The coupon is JALEXO5. You can get a 5% discount, which is always helpful. And yeah, just use it. I recommend for you to use it. Anyway, let's talk about eWriter Solutions. What I can say about this company. This is a company that I've been using for the past few months. It is a company that before I was kind of, I wasn't really enjoying this company much a few months ago. But I gotta admit, they really have improved their services a lot during the past few months. Okay, they really have improved a lot. They have writers that write better content. I noticed that along my latest books. That is something that didn't happen in the past. I sometimes got books which later on I published inside of Amazon. Some people left bad reviews. But I gotta admit, they really have improved the quality of their service a lot in the past few months. They have better writers. They have more writers. You should expect to receive your book, depending on its length, of course, but a book with about 10,000 words to 15,000 words, or probably a bit more, you should expect a delivery about 10 days. Sometimes they take a bit longer. It really depends on the time of the year that you are getting your book. Sometimes they have more work, so sometimes they can delay a few days. But that is about what you should expect. Also, they have a pretty decent pricing. This is something that you often don't see with other companies. I already went to other companies and they are just far more expensive. But this company, for a pretty good quality service, they provide $1.5 per 100 words. That is a pretty good rating. And yeah, that is about what I can talk about eWriter Solutions. They are a fantastic company. It's the company that I use for all of my books nowadays. Commonly, people have this question. This is a question that I receive a lot. People ask me if I go to Upwork and I hire ghostwriters inside of Upwork. I personally never did that. I never did that because I find it really, just the idea of just going to Upwork and needing to find a writer that is pretty decent, that does a good work. Yes, you can probably find someone that you can pay for a lower rating, but also you need to filter a lot. You might get writers that are bad. They provide you bad content, and then you pay for bad content, and then you need to get another writer and so on, and you basically need to build a team of writers. And I just find that whole idea just too much work, and I just prefer to use a ghostwriter company for my books. So this is the company that I've been using. And what can you do? So let's talk about what can you do. Once you have done your keyword research, you already have a good listing of keywords that you find profitable, and you simply want to get books done for those keywords, what can you actually do? So let's say that I'm going to use this example, yoga, and I don't recommend, I always say this along my videos, I use yoga as a keyword, mostly as an example, because I don't recommend for you to publish books related to yoga. This is a very competitive niche. It is a profitable niche, of course, but it is a very competitive niche. And it's very hard for you to actually have your book ranking in the front page of results, and most likely even sponsoring your book is not something that is quite cheap. So it is very hard for you to really make money with this keyword, even though it's profitable. Of course, if you put a book in the front page, you will do money. That is the truth. Anyway, let's say that I want to get a book related to yoga. So what exactly do I actually do? So I go to eWriter Solutions, and I click on this services button. You actually, if I'm not wrong, you need to create an account with them. It's nothing special. And you can see that you have 3 different choices. You also have audiobooks, but that is something that you simply won't use over here. For that, I just use ACX and hired over there someone to narrate my books. So you have 2 different services, and sometimes people find this a bit confusing. But technical ebooks is, for example, this is commonly books that you need to pay more for this content, because you need to have a writer that is more specialized, because sometimes this is content that is not for everyone. For example, if you want a book related to coding, like HTML, JavaScript, and so on, and you want a book related to that type of content, then you need to have a more specialized writer. And for that kind of service, you commonly pay a bit more, because you need someone specialized. So this is for coding books, stuff related to, let's say, mathematical books, physics books, artificial intelligence books, science books, everything that is kind of geeky, I would say, or tech, then it's related to this service. You need to use this service, because they simply won't accept your book if you choose the standard service over here. Now, for the standard service is cheaper, because you don't need to have a specialized writer for this. This can be anything from yoga, how-to books, I don't know, it can be dating books, yoga books, martial arts books, and so on. You can use this for service, okay, for that. So this is commonly the service that I use. You can also use this for diet books, for fitness books. This is the service that I often use for this. I actually need to start getting a few more technical books done later on. I want to try that, but at the moment I've been using mostly this service. So you just select this option, Ebook Writing. So when it comes to this, the books that I get done nowadays have about 16,000 words, and actually I'm going to start increasing this, because nowadays most of the books that I publish inside of Amazon, after a month and a half, 2 months, I see my return of investment, and I find that books that are lengthier simply do better inside of Amazon. They simply stay longer in the front page of results. People buy them more because people associate length with quality. And also, I don't get negative reviews of people complaining, especially when it comes to the paperback, people complaining about the book being way too small. Now, this is me, and you can see the pricing that I actually waste for a 16,000 word book. Now, if you are starting out, I don't recommend for you to immediately stick to 16,000 words, because the fact is, you probably still don't have all of the right strategies, everything, all of the right steps. You probably, I don't know, you probably chose a keyword that you found profitable, but it's not exactly something that you're able to compete. then you publish you get a book with 16,000 words, and you aren't able to put your book in the front page of results, and you don't do any kind of money. So initially, I always recommend for you to cut the costs as much as possible, even for your, let's say, for your first 3 books. Just do that, and once you start getting the hang of what you are doing, you start seeing that you are actually doing some money, then you can start increasing the number of words that your books have. So for starters, I recommend 12,000 words, okay, for your first few books. So you can decrease a bit the pricing over here. Now when it comes to title, the title is pretty simple. It's just my keyword, the keyword that I want to rank inside of Amazon. In this case, it's yoga. And then when it comes to subtitle, this is something that really depends on the type of book that I'm trying to do, okay? Typically what I do is I go to a particular keyword and I try to see the books that are actually selling better over here. So I'm going to use Kindle Spy so I can more easily see that. So what I do is, strangely, this book is selling pretty well. It just has 32 pages. That is kind of weird. It may be from someone who is well known inside of this niche or something like that, because this is a pretty small book. But what I commonly do is I choose about 2 to 3 books that are selling pretty well inside of this keyword. Let's say this one also. For example, 52 Essential Principles of Yoga Philosophy, Deepen Your Practice. This is a book that is selling pretty well inside of Amazon. You can see by the paid in Kindle store, you can see this is a pretty good ranking. You can also go to the paperback over here. Actually, I chose the wrong link. You can go over here to the paperback and see more exactly. It's also sold pretty well inside of the as a paperback format. That means that it's pretty good. What I try to do is I give 2 to 3 examples of books that are selling pretty well to my writers, and I tell them to check these books because I want them to basically write a book similar to this one's. Of course, I don't want them to make a book exactly the same as this one's. Of course, I want my writers to have a different twist, but I give them 2 to 3 examples of books that are selling pretty well inside of that particular keyword, and I tell them to write something similar, because my idea is if these books are selling well, then if I make a book similar to that one but with a different twist, then most likely my book will also sell pretty well. Now when it comes to subtitle, this is something that you really need to play around with the subtitle. I'm not going to talk about that in this video. I might actually do another video talking more about that, but you really want to have a title, a subtitle that is enticing and that makes people want to read your book. Okay, so I just grab over here, for example, this book over here, and you just need to grab this portion of this URL, and I write something. So over here you put the subtitle that you want. Let's say 52 essential something yoga basics you must learn, and you want to have a subtitle that is more enticing than the one that I used, because I'm just doing this randomly. But I write something like this. Either I want my writer to write a book related to yoga. Here are a few examples that you can use below. Sometimes I even go to, for example, let's go over here to YouTube. And what I do also is I write, for example, yoga, and I see the books that are I'm not talking exactly about yoga. It can be about other content, because sometimes what you will find when it comes to yoga is people just doing exercises, and that is not something that is very good for a book, because people just prefer to watch a video. But what I do is sometimes I go over here and see videos that are doing pretty well. I grab their URL and also use that as an example, so my writer will actually check that video that is performing very well inside of YouTube, and they can get several ideas for the content of my book. So over here would be the URL for that video. Then I'd be like, tell the writer, you can open the book inside what you need to write. Something like that. So I give a couple of examples of videos and also books that are performing extremely well inside of Amazon, and videos that are performing extremely well inside of YouTube. I give that as an examples of ideas that that writer can use inside of my book, so they can make a book that will sell well. Because I mean, if those books are already selling well inside of Amazon, if I get something similar but with a different twist, then most likely it will also sell well inside of Amazon. The same thing with YouTube. Sometimes you can find videos that have pretty good content that can basically be used for a book. Now that is for the beginning. What I write over here is sometimes the other thing that I like to use is, for example, I give a few topics that I want to be covered. Here are a few topics. And I put over here, let's say, what is yoga, how someone can start doing yoga, blah blah blah. So a few titles or a few topics that I simply want inside of my books. And often what I do is I also open the books and see the content that they cover, so I can have a better idea of what I need. Now this is basically what I do. The other part that I also do is what I don't want inside of my book. If it's your first book, you probably want to include the copyright information. But if it's not your first book, then what you can do is simply copy and paste the copyright information from another book and just paste it on your new book. That is something that I always do, because I don't want them to put copyrights and use that as the word count for my book. I don't want that information, because it's just copy and pasted information that I don't want. I don't want a copyright page, because I want them to use that as for my content. I also don't want the writer to start my book with thank you for downloading. That is terrible. Sometimes what happened before was they would start my book with thank you for downloading this book, blah 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 blah, and that just seems amateur. And not only because people purchase my book as a paperback and they are like, thank you for downloading. I didn't download your book, I just purchased your paperback. So this is the information that you want to exclude. This is what I commonly exclude. You can also exclude the table of content, because if you know how to use a Word or another text editor, you don't need to have that, because you can very easily do that yourself. So don't include a table of content. So this is the information that I commonly exclude. The other thing is had a description that sounds like my book. So I know that sometimes they don't do a great work with this, but I like them to include a description because it's something that I simply don't want to do. And I always tell them to do a description for my book because this is a description that I will then include over here. Okay, and I always tell them to include a description that sounds like a sales pitch of my book because I want something that is enticing, that captures my reader's attention. And also tell them to include a few, you can include a few bulletin points talking about the benefits of this book. So basically that is the information that I include over here. People have been asking me what I actually included over here, and that is basically what I do. Okay, this is the information that I often include for all of my books. This is basically what I do. Okay, so once you've done that, you simply want to add to cart. You will find this particular section where you can actually add my coupon. You just need to include that coupon so you can get the discount. Once again, you have the coupon right below. So it's JALEXO5. You just apply the coupon so you can get a small discount. Okay, you can see the discount over here. It's about $9. It depends on the length of your book, of course. So this is the discount that you can use. Just use this coupon. Once again, you have it right below so you can easily use it and get a small discount. So that is basically all that I can talk about eWriter Solutions. I provide you all of the information, everything that I do when it comes to ordering my books, and hopefully you will use this information and have some great, amazing selling books inside of Amazon and so on. That was all for this video. If you still haven't liked and subscribed to my YouTube channel, just go over below and do that. Also hit the notification bell so you can receive notifications whenever I publish a new video inside of YouTube. And that is all for now. This is Jordan Alexo, and stay tuned with Jordan Alexo, and bye.